What is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I said,
knock on wood.
Look at the rookie graphics. We got Dean and we got Davis. It doesn't get better than that.
yeah, put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Welcome back to the I Need a Sports podcast. Your host with the most, my dog Cam, myself Bryce. You already know what it is, man. Happy holidays. When you're gonna be watching this, it won't be Christmas yet, but it's Christmas week, man.
Mm-hmm.
Year done flown by. 2023 has been a great year for the pod, great year for the boys. 2024, we only getting better and better, man. More live pods, more guest appearances, all that. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a nice week of football, and while it's the holidays and it's happy, everybody knows that your holiday mood solely depends on if your team wins their game this weekend, which sucks. Sucks. It is good at the same time, man. But y'all know how this goes. We about to touch on this past week, week 15 in the NFL, then hop into week 16. The playoff race only got crazier in both conferences. It's a whole bunch of tiebreakers that's gonna come down to the last week. Teams fighting for position, and man, oh man, I don't understand some of the standings, man. I don't get how your Texans 8-6. Yes, y'all lost to the Colts, but y'all beat the Bengals, who beat the Colts. But they give the Bengals a tiebreaker over both of y'all, even though they got a worse divisional record and worse coverage. That doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense.
I don't. It is what it is, but hopefully, in 2 weeks, New Year's, hopefully we handle business versus Bengals, maybe help y'all out a bit, man. But yeah, your Texans, y'all got the dub in OT. I know that was a nerve-wracking game. You don't have your starting quarterback, Case Keenum, going down to the wires, almost looking like y'all about to tie for a second there, which it wouldn't have been bad, but it wouldn't have been good. Like, y'all needed this win, man. And y'all took the Oilers uniforms back low key, because they gonna wear the Oilers uniforms versus y'all, and then they got smoked. So, man, how you feeling about your Texans, and how nervous are you headed into this weekend?
Man, very, very nervous. Cause I mean, at this point, it's obviously 3 weeks left now. Every game is must win at this point. So, I mean, if you drop one, we're probably most likely out of the playoff race or whatever. But man, this game, yeah, I was on the edge of my seat the whole game, biting my fingernails the whole game. Man, first half, Case almost gave me a stroke. This man threw a pick six. I was like, well, that might be game right there. That might be game right there. But Case, he's just he's such a professional, such of a Houston legend. Probably the greatest Houston Cougars quarterback of all time. Go Cougs, probably the greatest ever. Played with the Texans back in the day. He was good with us. Started a couple of games, whatever. Won a couple of whatever. But came in this game, stepped up. Had a lot of injuries. Going to this game. Obviously CJ didn't play. Will didn't play. I believe Tunsil didn't play. Our right tackle didn't play. So, I mean,
Injuries hitting at the wrong time, bro.
Wrong time, man. I don't know, man. We somehow snuck out of this game. I want to give a big shout out to though, man. And it's crazy. that these guys let them go, but I guess they finally, they got another younger running back, whatever. But Devin Singletary, Motor Man, that dude is just like he's a man. I don't know. I guess he just fits the run scheme that Bobby Slowick has, but he just looks so much better than it's weird, better than Damian Pierce. Because obviously Damian Pierce had that he had a pretty good season last year, his rookie year. But yeah, Motor he's been stepping up, 26 carries, 121. He had a touchdown, but he got called back because of a hold, I believe.
Oh yeah, he
But
ran it in for game and they called
per
it back.
game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Called it back. And then at first we was like, D'Amico, what are you doing? Because he was kind of being kind of conservative. And Fairbairn, he made the field goal, but it was like a 50-yarder field goal, and it was like, D'Amico, we could at least got a little bit closer because
Yeah.
we had timeouts and stuff still left, and it was like, D'Amico, we could at least get a little bit more closer, but he ain't want to get closer. He said he trusted Fairbairn for that spot where we was at, so he clutched it, came back, clutched it, so yeah, man, this is an amazing game, man. Next week gonna be tough versus Browns. Beginning of the year, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Deshaun versus CJ," and now it's Joe Flacco.
Isaiah versus Case Keenum.
So I don't know. It's gonna be one hell of a game. We'll touch up on it probably, but yeah, it's gonna be a crazy game.
Oh man, yeah. The quarterback injuries this year just been nuts.
Sucks, bro.
Literally the NFL or not the AFC playoff race right now. Got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Jake Browning, Gardner Minshew, and Joe Flacco. And out of that group, Mahomes has 11 playoff wins. Lamar got one. Tua got zero. Lawrence got one. Minshew zero. And then Joe Flacco has 10 from last decade. So nobody would have guessed that whatsoever, but here we are, man. So it is what it is. On my side, Chiefs, we finally got back in the W column, thank God. It didn't come without a Kadarius Tony drop though, but
Oh, man.
man, things might be looking up. I'm not trying to get too excited, but I don't think he really got injured. I'm not praying on nobody injury. I know we don't cheer for that on this podcast, but Sky Moore got put on IR randomly the
Oh,
next day. They said he had swelling in his knee after the game. Really, it's because he fumbled and we got saved because they called a holding penalty on Rasheed Rice before that, and we got the ball back. But the one catch he had, he fumbled, and then didn't really see much from him after that. But now he's on IR, so his regular season's done. Justin Ross is back in the fold now. And according to reports, they say he's supposed to get a lot of action. We'll see. I don't believe all that yet. I got to see that first because when he was on the team, we wasn't playing him for whatever reason. But Rasheed Rice, man, wide receiver one. He
yeah.
finally giving this man snaps and he's producing. He just broke our rookie record for most touchdown catches. He's got 7 on the season. I think this game he's probably like I think he's like 40, 50 yards away from Dwayne Bowe's rookie yards record. Rookie receptions record is about to be demolished by him. He's about to have all the rookie wide receiver records for a Chief. And hey, we might have finally hit on one wide receiver. Now we could just pair him with a wide receiver one that's a veteran in the offseason. We'll be good to go. But yeah, man, it might be Ross and Rice season. I'm hoping that's what we need because I'm tired of seeing MVS. That's the only one else we need to get off the field. And then Tony, I don't know what's wrong with him. He had another one go right through his hands, interception. Luckily, we were already up at that point, so it didn't matter too much. But then earlier in the game, Pat threw an interception. Why we threw the ball to Blake Bell? Why are we throwing the ball to Blake Bell? Why is Blake Bell on the field if we're not running like goal line shit? Like, don't put him on the field. It was in his hands, and he let the defender snatch it from him. Interception. That's like you can't make this shit up. Like we got the weirdest turnovers of any team. Excuse me, but Yeah, man. If y'all bet Travis Kelsey's unders, cash. I told y'all about that. Bill
Hmm.
Belichick lock his ass up every time. It just is what it is. And it was only easier this year because we ain't got nobody else to throw the ball to for real. So he had like 3 defenders on him at times. So that was the easy one there. But offense looked better. It looked better. We were flowing better. The first drive we had that penalty I sent you, Rasheed Rice just run his route and the defender trying to move up to go double Kelsey and just runs into him. They offensive pass interference as if that was a pick play. And
Yeah.
then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man. It pissed me off when he run, but he can catch the ball.
He
Air
definitely
Hilaire,
gets
he
wrong.
got up there. He was floating with his little chunky ass, but he caught it. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But yeah, man, Chiefs get back in the win column. We got a game on Christmas Day, Monday, versus the Raiders, and I already know that's gonna be their Super Bowl. So I'm sure that will be a tough game. They're gonna be going because technically their playoff hopes are still alive after uh, they beat. I don't even want to say what they beat the bleep out of the Chargers in
Man,
Easton Stick last Thursday, 63-21. But hey, the
crazy.
Chargers needed that because I guess that was finally the motive they needed to fire Brandon Staley, which was way long overdue. But yeah, man, week 15, a bunch of games like we said with playoff implications on it, man. We're gonna start off with the what was supposed to be the game of the week turned out into one of the blowouts of the week, man. Bills versus Cowboys. Does this like what is this? What did that game tell you? Did it like? I mean, we already know in our heart of hearts what the Cowboys are, but was this finally like the reality check for all Cowboys fans and the rest of sports media? Like, yeah, we've been hyping up the Cowboys, or do you think it was just a bad game?
I'm gonna say it was just a bad game. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt again. I'm gonna just say it was a bad game. The Bills, I feel like, are still a good team with a bad record. Still got an amazing quarterback, obviously. Still got good receivers. Still got a pretty good defense or whatever.
James Cook.
Um,
Oh my
oh
god.
my God, James Cook just ran ran all over Dallas like that. And really, Dallas run D has been very good this year. I believe it has, or has it been up and down?
No, they. I mean, I'm not trying to dog y'all. They're good against the bad teams, but the
Uh,
Christian McCaffreys, James Cook,
yeah, he did.
they
He
be running all over. So I don't know. But that's always been their one weakness, though. If anything else is like, if you run at Micah Parsons and you usually have a good chance of success, and they ran right at him, and Dan Quinn and the boys did not adjust whatsoever. So I don't know.
but also it was a couple of plays that kind of early on in the game. It was a couple of plays that kind of changed the game a little
Some
bit.
stupid penalties.
Yeah, stupid penalties that turned into touchdowns or points or whatever. And so that's why I'm kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. And it's a road game, tough environment. So I'm giving them a little bit of doubt. But if they lose to the Dolphins, then it's okay. Then it's like okay, like you can't beat good teams like at
Man,
all.
uh, movable object meets stoppable force or whatever, whatever.
Something
Something's
gotta
gotta give.
something gotta give.
It's. I think I saw a stat. It's like the first matchup where the two teams coming in both are combined have 20 plus wins. They both got 10 wins, and only one victory is against a team with a winning record. And it's the Cowboys versus the Eagles a couple weeks ago, which was in Dallas. But then look how the Eagles are looking right now. So
Yeah.
something has gotta give. And on one side, it's the Dolphins, can they beat a good team? And then Dallas, while they've proven they can beat some good teams, the caveat is those games have all been at home. When they're on the
Mm-hmm.
road, their stats as a team and their record is equivalent to like the Chicago Bears and another bottom team I can't think of that I'm blanking right now, but that's how bad they've been on the road, which sucks for them as well. It helps that Philly lost Monday night, so they're still technically alive for second, third place in the NFC, so they could possibly get a home playoff game. But if they finish second in that division and end up fifth seed, they're on the road from the very jump. So can we trust them? I don't know. Maybe on the matchup, but they'll most well not mostly they'll get the NFC South winner. So that should be a win. Thinking Tampa Bay, New Orleans, maybe, but who knows?
I
Who
mean,
knows what they?
they wouldn't have to see if they get the. I believe they get the second seed. They wouldn't have to see the Eagles or the 49ers until NFC
Yeah.
top the championship.
So
So
that's what you want.
yes,
But will they get it? It's still, I think it's still in Philly, or Philly still controls their own destiny since the Cowboys lost to the Bills. If they would have won this week and then the Eagles lose, they got it right there.
hmm
And instead, well, I mean, I agree with you in like the penalties heavily affected that game early on, which turned into points for Buffalo. But then the Dallas offense, who've been flying high, it
straight
was
nothing
it
on.
was the fourth quarter, and until garbage time, Dak had 82 yards passing. And just like that, MVP out the window. It's almost it's going to Brock Purdy,
It's
but
going
now
about
the
Purdy.
argument is really, is it Brock Purdy or C-Mac? Because Tyreek Hill didn't
Yeah,
play this past weekend, so like we already know where that's gonna go. But yeah, man, I was disappointed in him, but at the same time, like I told y'all from that rant, what was that? Way back when after they played the cart? No, it wasn't. Was it no, it was when they played the 49ers and I got on here with confidence in them and they got smacked. I told y'all, man, this Cowboys team ain't for real. They're not for real, man. Like they literally have to have the perfect route to the playoffs where they can get home games, get easier games, and it's just not gonna happen because they've lost too much. And San Francisco is they basically got that one seed sold up. I feel like I don't see them losing.
I don't see him
And if you
losing.
got to go to the Bay, like say they do make it to play them, we already know what's gonna happen. A really good team on the road for them, that's an automatic L. And at that point, where do you go? Because Dak's contract is up, and I'm not saying Dak don't deserve to get paid after the year he's had, but
They'll
if he
probably pay
folds
him.
again in the playoffs, that next year gonna be Dak's 10th year. What's gonna change from him at this point? Mike McCarthy, we've seen him coach for years and years and years. He had Aaron Rodgers at one point. He got one Super Bowl out of it, so props to him. But other than that, he wasn't able to do much. So I don't know. Dallas gonna have a lot of questions to answer this all season if this season ends bad, and especially if it's in fashion like we've seen from them the past couple years, where it's just like a good team, and when y'all face competition, y'all suddenly fold. And Michael Parsons got to get paid too.
Yeah, I was about to say he got to get paid also.
So I don't know
Diggs
what.
already got paid, huh?
Yeah, they paid him. Yeah, they paid him this offseason, I believe. And shoot, Mike got to get paid. CD got to get paid too, don't he?
I'm not too
He
sure.
he
I'm not
might
too.
have 1 year, but I mean, I'm sure he's gonna want a contract because
Yeah.
it usually starts the year before that. They
Mhm.
better not let CD go because
And
then,
then you got the O line.
yeah, it. I told y'all Dallas, y'all have to win the Super Bowl this year, or y'all back in a semi quasi rebuild for the next 3 years. Like that's just how it goes. These windows be short in the
Short.
NFL, so it is what it is. Um, let's see. Uh, one of the teams we were just talking about that they'll probably end up playing the playoffs, the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, the first quarterback ever with a perfect 158.3 quarterback rating in Lambeau Field. 34-20. They dubbed the Packers. They hot. Shoot, I mean, I would if I had to put money on it, I would go with the Cowboys versus Tampa Bay. But that game gonna be in Tampa, and Tampa Bay might be hot. They really playing with house money. It's not like they got anything to lose. No one expects much out of them. This ain't the same Tampa Bay team from last year where they were clearly horrible.
Mhm.
And Tom Brady, I'm not saying he had regressed to being trash, but he wasn't Tom Brady. Mike Evans wasn't Mike Evans last year, and that defense was trash. Baker Mayfield and them hot. I wouldn't be surprised if they mess around and upset Dallas somehow, some way. Even though I would put my money on Dallas in that type of game. So it's just a lot you got to look out for in this one, man. But I don't know. It's just like I said, these last 3 weeks gonna get interesting. And this week to kick it off, they got the Dolphins. They already failed test one at Buffalo. Now they got to travel to Miami. Like we said, something's got to give. Who can beat a good team?
Yeah.
Can Dallas win on the road? Can Tua finally beat somebody of substance besides beating up on trash teams? Which props to them. They beat up on the Jets again this weekend without Tyreek 30-0. So shout out to them for doing that. But at the same time, if they fold this weekend versus Dallas, I think that looks worse for them. And then on the flip side, Buffalo wins. Miami's next 3 games. Dallas this weekend, which I could see them losing this game. I think Dallas wins, honestly. Next week after that, they got to travel to Baltimore, who will probably be trying to wrap up the 1 seed if they win that game.
Wait, Miami got to travel to Baltimore. Oh my god.
And then Buffalo to end the season, which honestly might be for the AFC East title. And that honestly, that's probably Buffalo's only way into the playoffs because they're gonna lose all the other tiebreakers if they don't win it and they tie with y'all or Cincy, or because Cincy has a tiebreaker over them, Jacksonville has a tiebreaker over them. So they're, and the fact Jacksonville is sliding now, if Jacksonville ends up with the same record, then that really sucks for them too because they were expecting, Jacksonville to run the table, get first place in the AFC South with y'all, and now they've been dropping games. So while Buffalo looks good, they might have played so bad in the beginning of the season, it can still affect them. But if that game comes down to last season, it's in Miami. So maybe that helps them. But what more Miami thing would it be than to lose at home to Josh Allen? And then that would just kind of put the staple on it like, hey, yeah, Josh Allen owns this division. And then at that point, where you go if you Miami? Because they ain't tied to it.
Yeah.
You think let's see who got high draft picks this year? Chicago, they wouldn't trade it. I'm just thinking like at that point, do you try to sign and trade Tua to a team that just needs a serviceable quarterback and then they don't have to try to take a flyer in the draft? I'm trying to think of a team that could fit for like who would fit that criteria.
Maybe like who would take Tua?
That's what I'm trying to think too. Who would even? Because I mean, Tua got all the weapons in the world right now. So if he can't win now, would anybody really want him, so to speak? I don't know.
Maybe the Vikings. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the Vikings.
The Vikings. They got Jay Jettas, Addison. Kirk Cousins coming off a torn Achilles. Do you think Miami takes that chance? Like trades for Kirk Cousins, saying like, "Hey, he's a veteran guy, but he's also in his 30s and coming off a torn Achilles." So I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he would go.
Or do they draft a quarterback Mike McDaniel think could be the future and then sit behind Tua for one more year and be like, Tua, this is literally your last chance. Sign him to a 1-year deal. I don't know. This football is about to get this whole end of the month and first week. It's gonna be so good because so much stuff has to get settled, and we can't settle it until these games are literally played.
Yeah.
And all the hot takes and stuff that's gonna come from some of these games, like I can only imagine, like Dallas lose this week versus Miami. Oh my god, they're gonna tear that canoe up. If Miami lose, they're gonna be like, oh my god, are they really frauds? Is Tua a franchise quarterback? Can Mike McDaniels really coach? Like it's gonna be some crazy stuff being said by the media this week. But let's talk about the team that we don't know why they have the tiebreaker. Now, I'm not saying I believe this, but let me just explain everything before I get your answer. So the Browns, I'm not the Browns. I started off wrong already. The Bengals, they currently hold the 6th seed wild card. They started off the year rough. Joe Burrow was hurt. We said he should have rested, but they didn't rest him, so they played bad. But then got that bye week. They start winning. Joe Burrow looked more like Joe Burrow, but then he obviously goes down with whatever wrist injury. In comes Jake Browning, and he's balled out. And they got weapons, and they're winning. Now, I'm not saying, they're beating any super good teams or anything like that. But wouldn't it be the funniest thing in the world if this year's Cincinnati Bengals team is the 2017 Eagles, and where Carson Wentz was their franchise guy, they paid him, he tears his ACL, Nick Foles leads them to the Super Bowl because they got talent, and then the team just falls apart from there. And the quarterback's never the same. I'm not saying Joe Burrow not going to be the same. I'm just saying if Jake Browning leads them to Super Bowl, they already paid Joe Burrow. So what do you do at that point?
So you have to ride the hot hand easily for sure at this point. Burrow can't come back at all this season at all, right?
They said no, but if they were to make it far into the playoffs, I don't know if they'd be like, oh well, maybe Burrow can play, but that would be
No,
stupid.
you ride the you ride the hot hand. But if they win if they win the Super Bowl, you have a.
I think Joe Burrow got to get knocked back a couple spots in that QB ranking list.
Shit, I mean they both the same. They both the same age. I mean, what? I mean, do you? I mean, I know they paid him already. Do you move on from him? You don't move on from him?
Because you could get a haul back for real.
You could get a haul back from Joe Burrow. You could get a haul back. I mean, they're the same age.
And he's not even. I know this is a small sample size we're talking about. Obviously, this is why it's just hypothetical. So any Bengals fans that see that, don't get y'all opinion twisted because y'all know y'all fans get butthurt easy anyway. But he's playing better than Joe Burrow. Like if I was watching first teams worse, they took the first 5 weeks where Joe Burrow was bad and they were 1-4, and he was averaging like 100 yards passing a game. Then the next week 6 through like 10, and he was decent, but now these last 3-4 weeks with Jake Browning, he's been better in every statistical category. And if they're probably not gonna have Jamar Chase this week, so this might be a little bit more telling of a game versus that Pittsburgh defense or divisional rival. And they got to win this game, or they're out of the playoffs for sure because they're 0-4 in the division, which is why I don't know how they get the tiebreaker. That's another argument for another day. But he's been putting up better numbers than Joe Burrow, and he's got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. And it's like, is it the weapons then at that point?
Yeah.
Because that's what we tried. People made the argument is like, no, Joe Burrow is just a really good quarterback. And I'm not saying he's not, but it kind of goes to the fact where, like, if you could just surround these serviceable quarterbacks with really great talent, you look like a really good team at times. That's exactly what the 49ers are doing right now. They got blessed. They got Mr. Irrelevant who's making like $500K after taxes, if not less, in California, so they can put the superheroes all the way around them, and the 49ers look unstoppable.
Unstoppable, man.
Jake Browning going off with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase right now. Now, if they lose T. Higgins in the offseason, what can we expect from them, really?
Because he made a crazy catch.
I've never seen a receiver do that in all my life watching football.
That was like so.
Mawson, and his body never touched the end zone, but he must have just reached out like this and scored. Come on, man. Come on,
crazy, man. Crazy.
And I know he's had a bit of a drop problem this season, but that play right there made up for all the drops in my mind. That shit was amazing. I was watching that and my jaw literally dropped. Like, how the hell did he do that? Because then the commentators like, well, is it a touchdown? They're going to review. I'm like, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it's a touchdown. He broke the play.
First play, yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, man, if I obviously don't want to see the Bengals win the Super Bowl because that's going to come at the expense of my Chiefs and other teams like Lamar and stuff. But if they were to go on a Cinderella run with Jake Browning, what do you do?
I don't know, man. That'd be like insane. Because it's like you can't just. I mean, I guess you can move on from if you want to keep Burrow, you can move on from Brown, but it's like you can't just move on from him. He
just won you a Super Bowl.
He just won you a Super Bowl.
And there's for sure going to be other offers from other teams that would want him at that point.
For sure. And like I said, man, hey, they're both the same age, so it's like,
and one's got less injury history. I'm not trying to say Joe Burrow's injury prone, but he's now had 2 season-ending injuries in his short career. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let bygones be bygones, man. I'm just saying, Cincy fans, it's kind of funny.
It is funny.
I know Joe Burrow's a really good quarterback, but just saying, y'all got Jake Brown in there, and it honestly looks better as of right now than any other time y'all looked in the season. So might have to adjust some of these quarterback ranking talks for real, for real. But team I accidentally said first, Cleveland Browns, man. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're winning games. Joe Flacco, honestly, I get he's their literal fourth quarterback this season, signed off of his couch, but he's been better than every quarterback they played or that has played for the Browns here. Deshaun, PJ, uh, DTR. Joe Flacco's been better than all of them.
Crazy.
Do you think Joe Flacco can go on a match? Because they got a great defense, obviously. Joe Flacco can the I guess the ghost of Joe Flacco playoffs come back? Can he revive what he did back in 2012 with the Ravens and go on a magical run with this team?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll
I'll tell you
see.
what, that's a matchup nobody wants to see in the first round of the playoffs, though.
No, for sure. You would not want to see them at all because
'Cause-
that's a scary team to go up against.
And honestly, because the Ravens, as long as the Ravens don't, which they got a tough game this weekend versus San Francisco, but if the Ravens tie up the AFC North, which I think they can do with the win, well, it might not because the Browns beat them technically. Let's see. No, I think if Baltimore wins this weekend, I think they would lock up the AFC North. So that means the Browns, at best, would finish fifth. You getting them as like the fourth seed, or if they finish sixth and you get them as a third seed,
Scary, man.
scary.
That's
And
scary.
because you got tape on Joe Flacco, but not much, and then the
Mhm.
defense is really good. So I don't know. They just find ways to win at this point. Like
I don't
they
get it.
doing what the Steelers was doing, and the Steelers have now fallen off. Like this is why we say like the playoffs, the whole race is just crazy. How many teams are even 8-6 right now? Is it Jaguars, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Houston, Buffalo, all 8-6. Pitt and Denver right behind them at 7-7. And Cleveland 9-5 right now with my Chiefs 9-5, Baltimore 10-4. Miami 10-4, Baltimore 11-3. And all these teams damn near play each other these last 3 weeks, essentially. Y'all gonna get
Crazy,
Indy.
bro.
We gonna get Cincinnati. I think Jacksonville got what do they got left? They got
Shit, we
well
got
actually Jacksonville, they got the Bucks, Panthers, and Titans. So technically they should win out, but they haven't been playing their best football.
hmm
Man,
we got the Browns this week. That's another major game that needs to be won.
they got the Jets
Cause,
after that, and then the Bengals to end the season.
Cause
Who
if we beat them, we'll have tiebreaker over them, huh? Because we both would be 9-6.
I
But I
would
don't
think
know,
I would
like
think so. Because I obviously don't know. I thought this whole time, like I even had a friend text in a group chat, and he was like, "Man, okay, we still in the hunt. We good." And I was like, "What you talking about? Y'all won. Y'all got the tiebreaker over Cincy. Y'all in the playoff." And then I went and looked. I thought ESPN was tripping. No, Cincy somehow holds the tiebreaker. So I don't know if that came down to like they beat the Colts by more than y'all lost to the Colts, or the Colts beat you. I don't know how, but they don't deserve to be there. I know that with their conference and divisional record, but yet they here. So this playoff break, man, I'm just excited to watch football, man.
eh,
I want to get to some football. I don't know how this shit is finna shake out. And then, like I said, you get to the playoffs. Say we're it's very like even though they're playing good, still statistically speaking, Buffalo has to win out and Miami has to lose out realistically for them to make the playoffs. We are potentially looking at playoffs without Josh Allen, without Joe Burrow. Um, let's see who else. Without Aaron Rodgers, because obviously, he got hurt way earlier in the year and the Jets just got eliminated from playoff
mhm.
contention. Without Justin Herbert. We're
God
literally
about Justin Herbert.
we're literally
Yeah.
looking at what might be a playoff race where it's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Flacco. Might be like if you had to put your money on the line, those probably the top two quarterbacks you trust. Like obviously we want to trust Lamar, but we still haven't seen the Ravens win the playoff. Now I think that will change this year, but until we see it happen, I wouldn't put my last dollar on it
Mm-hmm.
because it just hasn't happened yet. So like I was Nick Wright had posed this question earlier today in his tiers, and his tier had the Ravens and Chiefs together, and it was like the tier title was called Let's Be Honest. If right now at this very second you had to put your money on one team losing, one top team, like because it's very much considered around everybody basically at this point that the Ravens and Chiefs are top two teams in the AFC. If you had to put your last dollar right now on one of the top two teams losing their first playoff game, who's gonna be on? It'd be on the Ravens. If you had to put money on who would be hosting an AFC championship game at the end of it all, it'd probably be the Chiefs because the Ravens would slip.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not all the way fair, but it's fair because that's what we've seen over the years. So you really don't. It's up in the air because even the Chiefs, like you put your last dollar because you trust us because we've done it for the last 5 years. But shit, if we got Kadarius Toney in the game in the crunch and he dropped the ball into an interception, we done just like that. And that's a very much possible reality with us this year. So I don't know, man. I don't know. As of right now, I think Baltimore finishes in first place. I think they'll win enough games to still lock. I don't see them losing two games. They have to lose two games, and we would have to win out to get first. I don't see them losing two of the last three. So I think Baltimore will win out. But then if we get second, as of right now, that means we would be getting the seventh seed, which would be Indianapolis. We'd be playing Gardner Minshew. And even though I would, put my last dollar on us to beat them, what's the one team that's been our Achilles heel since Patrick Mahomes been in the league? The Indianapolis Colts, for whatever reason.
Ain't gonna lie,
Now
they actually kind of nice. Like
they are.
that defense is insane.
The only
And
hope I have would be the fact that we have been bad against them in the regular season, but Mahomes' first playoff win was knocking out Andrew Luck, and that was
oh,
Andrew Luck's last game. But at the end of the day, I know that would still be a tough ass game, and it would probably be close.
it'd be a tough. That'd be a tough. That'd be a stupid. Because that's definitely not no easy team. And you can just say, oh, we gonna just beat them
We
or
go
whatever.
we gonna roll these guys. Well, you can't. And really, any of these AFC wildcard teams, I don't want to see y'all. Y'all defense play solid. If CJ Stroud back in, no telling what he could do. Even though, like, I know our defense is playing good, but it's gonna be a big game, and he get up for big games, and he's a prime time player. Shit, but God forbid Buffalo sneaks in as a 7th seed. I don't want to see Josh Allen in the
I
first
don't.
round for him because that's a Super Bowl. That one we probably do lose like straight off the bat.
That's they super. That's the only game they probably care about. If it's like a wild card,
They will beat us and then go lose to the Ravens the next week. I guarantee it if they somehow get the 7th seed.
yes, they
And
gonna be
because
turned
and
up, man.
because of that, look, they could beat us, go lose versus the Ravens. Lamar could go to the Super Bowl, even win it. And Lamar would then have an MVP, a Super Bowl, and probably a Super Bowl MVP. The talks in the offseason would be Josh Allen's got to be the best quarterback in the league. He beat Patrick Mahomes. And hey, Lamar, since he's the reigning Super Bowl champion, he can have two, and that means Patrick is now the third best
The
quarterback in
third,
the league.
yeah.
That's what they would say. They would say some stupid shit like that, bro. And I just hope, I pray to God we don't have to see that or listen to that. But man, that's a real possibility of happening. But yeah, they would play that game like it's a Super Bowl, and I can see them easily flopping in whatever next game they'd have.
I
But
wouldn't want to see them though.
I
Not
wouldn't
first
want to see him
round.
either. No, because the way they're using James Cook now with Brady as the OC,
It's about time. It's about time because James Cook has a lot of talent. A lot of talent. Young, good running back too. Fast, can catch out the backfield.
Shoot,
I mean,
he carried Cam Swan to the upset of the fantasy season this week.
oh, he did.
Yeah, Cam snuck into the playoffs at 6-7. He played
That's
Big Chris,
insane.
who was 12-1, getting 170 literally every week, and he had an 80% chance to win because he had the Raider defense too. And then James Cook comes in and kills, and then on top of that, Chris also had Dak, who played like garbage, and just
Oh,
like that, fantasy season over with.
that's unfortunate.
So for and
That's
Cam Swan probably
unfortunate.
finna luck out and win the championship too this week.
He probably will win it all. Who he play against?
He's playing I think Tony, I want to say.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm pretty
Tony
sure
said,
that's
didn't Tony say he had a good team, huh?
he
Was that the
did, but
beginning?
he also has Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley.
Oh man.
Yeah. So can you trust them right now? No.
And we don't even know if Trevor gonna play this
Exactly.
this week. Dang, that's tough.
Super tough. Let me see. Yeah, it's Tony and Cam for the championship, and right now Cam is projected to win 130 to 112.
Wow. At six, he was 6-7. You know how
Six to
crazy.
seven.
You know how underdog story that is right there. To come back and just win it all.
Got us on our worst week where our starting running backs was Pacheco was out. Like, I'm gonna go just read that game
Damn,
off.
this would have been us.
It would have been us.
It would've been-
Well, no, because then we would have had to beat Chris. Well, no, because he matched up with Chris because he was such a low seed. I think we would have got Tony and we could have
that's
beat
all.
Tony or Chris. But where's it at? Let me go back to that week if I could get to it. Just so y'all can see how we lost in the first round of the playoffs. Is it gonna let me click on it? Oh, it won't even let me click on the game. But Pacheco was out. This is a week, my Chiefs played the Bills. Pacheco out, so we was down there. DeAndre Swift, for whatever reason, wasn't getting the ball at Philly. We had Stephon Diggs, who got locked up by Jarius Sneed. Who else do we have? Dalton Kincaid, who didn't play that well either. He got some catches, but he didn't do nothing too special. Rashee Rice, who wasn't getting good snaps, how we are, until this last week we decided, let's keep him in the game. No, it was just bad the whole week. And that's how we lost that. And then he upsets Chris. So that's how it goes. That's how it rolls in fantasy. Getting first place in the top seed in fantasy is skill. Getting to the playoffs is just pure luck at that
Pure
point.
luck, man. Pure luck.
And luck ain't on our side for 2 years in a row. We had decent season, finished top 3, and then we drop in the playoffs like that. So yeah, man. But that's enough about week 15. Let's talk about week 16 and get to some of these marquee games. Starting with tomorrow night, Thursday night. Not that we got a lot riding on this, but we got a lot riding on this. Saints at the Rams, both 7-7. Saints need this to stay in the playoff hunt because then they're going to get Tampa Bay the week after this, and that will be for the division lead. Can we trust Derek Carr and these Saints on the road versus a hot Rams team right now who's also in the playoff hunt?
Yeah, the Rams, they play a good ball right now. Real good ball. It's gonna be tough, man. But it's Thursday. That's Thursday night game, huh?
Yep. And they're 4-point favorite right now, the Rams are. And they currently hold the 7th spot in the NFC. So you already know McVay coming dialed up, ready to go.
You know he's gonna be
Dennis
ready.
Allen, who's a terrible coach in these spots. Derek Carr, who's a terrible quarterback in these spots. I'm just like, this is going to be bad, I think. I feel like I have to fade the Saints solely based off the fact, like, I'll win money if they lose. But if they win, then the preseason bet is still alive. So it's like a in-season hedge.
Yeah.
But
that game said is definitely a toss up. Dang, and the Rams at home, huh?
and Kyron Williams back doing his thing the last couple weeks. Cooper Kupp just went off last week. You still got Puka. Stafford has been balling. Yeah, I can see the Saints dropping this very easily. Another marquee game. Bengals Steelers, like I said. This one for the division. You got the Bengals who are hot, and then you got the Steelers who are not. Steelers, it's looking like damn near not half the team, but Pickens, Deontay Johnson. It's someone new every week where it just looks like they've given up. I don't know what's going on over there in the locker room, but even TJ Watt said something this week where he was like, some guys just don't practice hard. And at that point, it's a coaching thing, but it's like Tomlin, we know he's a good coach. So what has he done to where Pickens and Deontay Johnson are at odds with him and they just not giving full effort? Because I think it was it Pickens this past week. I don't know if you saw he was blocking in the red zone and he just completely let the guy go and he was like, "Oh, I didn't want to get an injury like Tank Dell." But it was nowhere close to that same situation. He just literally didn't block dude and then he tackled Warren before getting to the end zone. So who you got in this one? You think the Steelers can pull it off or Bengals keep going? It's in Pittsburgh.
I think the Bengals is hot right now. I think they'll win this game.
They're without Jamar Chase too, probably.
Oh, I forgot he does have a separated shoulder. Yeah, they say he will be out a week. Okay, now it's kind of interesting.
And playoffs are on the line.
That's another toss up game. That's
And
another toss up game.
yeah, the Bengals loses. I don't know. I don't think they're mathematically eliminated because obviously all these other teams who are right there with them, but that would then move them to 0-5 in their division, and that's a conference loss. I don't think there's another way you can get in at that point.
You think right?
Unless it comes down to them and the Bills for the last spot, and then they have the tiebreaker over the Bills. But that would be insane. Imagine a team goes 0-6 in their division and makes the playoffs. And then
their luck.
Just their luck, I guess. And this another Saturday game too. And then what was supposed to be the marquee Saturday night matchup is now probably going to be another dog walk. Honestly, though, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be optimistic here blindly. For whatever reason, when a team fires their coach, that next week they usually come out, just really good because it's like they didn't want that coaching way. And the Chargers have definitely looked at last couple weeks like they've given up on Brandon Staley, especially you let up 63 to the Raiders and Aiden O'Connell and get waxed like that. I know you don't got Herbert, but that's just a clear sign of, you gave up on the team. Staley's gone now. They're at home. No one obviously expects them to win. They're a 12-point underdog at home. The Bills, it's a roller coaster. What if the Chargers upset the Bills?
That'd be insane. Because I at that point they probably out of the playoffs race too.
Oh yeah, they gotta be.
Yeah.
The Bills literally have to win out. That's the only way. Because that'll be another conference loss for them, which I think will take them to like 3-7 in the conference, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, they're 4-5, so it'll be 4-6. It's the Bengals who are 3-6, and it'll be their 7th conference loss. Like I said, they'll be 0-5 in the division, but yet here they are at the 6th seed wild card position. So I don't know. I want to see the upset of all upsets to see the Chargers, but the way the Bills are playing right now, that's probably I think the Bills are, like I said, the last week of the season, them versus Miami is going to come down to the playoffs for both them teams. Browns versus the Texans, 2.5 favorites for Cleveland. Obviously, Case Keenum versus Joe Flacco. I know y'all had a bunch of injuries this past week. Again, what's the injury report looking like this week for y'all?
You want to look? I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show you right here. Hold on. So the injury report from Wednesday. Just listen to all the people that did not practice. So you got Will Anderson Jr., ankle injury, DNP. He's a starter. You got linebacker Blake Cashman, hamstring. He's important. DNP. He's a starter. You got tight end Brevin Jordan, illness, DNP. He's a backup tight end. He's still important when Schultz not there. You got what was that? Our left guard or right guard? Right guard, Shaq Mason, calf injury, DNP. He's a starter. You got receiver John Mechie, illness, DNP. He gets playing time. You got CJ Stroud, obviously concussion, DNP, starting quarterback. You got Tunsil, left tackle, starting left tackle, superstar left tackle, knee injury, DNP. You got Jimmy Ward. He got hurt again. Concussion, DNP. Then you got limited Noah Brown, knee injury, limited. Lee Collins, deep tackle, hip injury, limited. Nico Collins was back in the limited fashion, whatever. Then Perryman, Achilles limited, Robert Woods limited. Then we got George Fant and Steven Nelson all back. So a lot of our stars are DMP again. So it'll be a tough game once more. But I hope we bliss the shit out of Joe Flacco because man, he at least like 40 right now. So he can't move. He can't
move. He's
he
still
can't.
a pocket potato if you get pressure on. I was gonna say, did Will Anderson play this week or he said
He was out. He was out.
And he's still not practicing either.
Still not practicing, bro.
Jeez.
That's not a good sign at all. Not a good sign at all, man. Not a good sign at all. I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, if we find a way to win this game against a top 5 defense, D'Amico has to be coach of the year.
That's what I was literally about to say. You read my mind.
To be coach of the year.
I was thinking that, or literally, not only is a playoff spot going to be on the line, but coach of the year will be on the line that final game versus Colts because Shane Steichen got an argument because Gardner Minshew and all that they've been through. But yeah, no, the fact that y'all are pulling it, they got to be 1 and 2. I can hear the argument for Shane Steichen, so I'm not finna say, he can't be 1. But right now, D'Amico, to me, is a little bit higher 1 because, like, the stuff y'all been dealing with is crazy. I guess Steichen and his defense, he has been playing with a backup quarterback, but at the same time, Minshew's got experience as a starter in this league for a couple years. So I don't necessarily view him as a backup. He's just a really good backup to have, though. But yeah, man,
it's also like with the Colts, though. They don't really have a lot of playmakers. I mean, Pittman's okay, but they don't really have a lot of playmakers like that.
And is he out? Pittman? The way he got hit? Is he Pittman? I would assume he's in concussion protocol because there's no way he got hit like that. I didn't watch the game, but if y'all didn't watch, I'll try to find a clip and add it. But I can't even think of Stiller's name. Oh, DeMonte Kazi or KZ got suspended for the rest of the season.
That hit
on Pittman. Yeah, that was
Pittman.
That was Pittman.
I didn't even realize that was Pittman. Oh, he was limited. How he limited? And it says concussion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh wait, let me touch on that too about the concussion thing.
Oh yeah, because this CJ Stroud situation. Give us the rundown because I didn't know he had been possibly concussed the last couple games, and then like you said, you was just watching the game versus Arizona or Jacksonville, and you thought he was concussed, but he kept playing.
No, it was the Broncos game.
Or the Broncos.
He got popped, like pop, and he came out the game. And Davis Mills came in, and Davis Mills threw one pass, and all you see is CJ jumping over a bench and coming, putting his helmet on and coming right back in. And from that point on, you could tell like he wasn't the same. Like he obviously wasn't. I mean, he was driving the ball, but you could tell like the passes. It just didn't seem the same, or whatnot. And then obviously he goes to the next game, goes to the Jets game, and Quentin Williams completely assault. That shit was crazy what he did to. And he got out of the game, after that. But honestly, if you go back 3 weeks, that Cardinals game, he got popped again, and you could tell like he didn't know where he was. Like he was looking around. A timeout had to be called or whatever, and he was like, pretty much shooing the trainers away. But that after the Tua situation, I feel like I blame the medical staff, and I then also blame the NFL because after that Tua situation, not even quarterbacks, but every player, like you should be taking that concussion like seriously. Like if you see CJ get popped like that, not only in that Cardinals game, but also in that Broncos game too. I mean, you have to like you see something's very wrong with
Yeah,
him.
they're
You have to,
supposed to buzz down now. Like if you see her
yes,
get hit and get up a little wobbly, you're supposed to automatically buzz down. Like, hey, he got to come out to just see and make sure. And they didn't even do that for real.
they
So
didn't do that at all. I mean, they did the Broncos game, but the Cardinals game, they didn't do it at all. And then the Broncos game, it was literally like 30 seconds. And I feel like the concussion protocol is probably like during the game concussion protocol, it's probably so easy that they all probably memorize it.
oh yeah,
And
that's what they do. Because they get to pick their own questions. So they pick.
oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's why it is the way it is. I think I was watching Bussin' with the Boys with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton, and they were saying like, yeah, before the season, everybody knows like, okay, if I'm a little like jacked up at the moment, what questions could I really answer and like have those locked in, so they can pick easy questions, and they
Oh,
pick their concussion protocol test questions.
bro, like he memorized that, like change the protocol, dog. Like, come on, bro. Like that man, that man was clearly not good to go for two straight weeks. He probably got concussed that Cardinals game, but I know for a fact he got concussed that Broncos game because he got absolutely popped. And I mean, like I said, he went out and he came back in. But that's shame on D'Amico. That's shame on the medical staff for letting him go back in, and that's also shame on the NFL for seeing that and still letting him play. So, yeah, man, I hope he's okay. But what I sent you that or that tweet, whatever, that's saying
He got.
what's
I don't
that
even know how
word?
to pronounce it. I could be butchering this. Ataxia, atoxia. I don't know.
I don't know.
But they said he might possibly have that, which means he could have like symptoms for like weeks or a month, or at worst, they be saying some of that stuff is fatal, like it's inherited trait or something. I don't even know. I've never heard of it until you sent that tweet. So I really don't know what to expect. But if he has been playing for a concussion for now 3 weeks, and now they just that's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's
Somebody
crazy.
about to get sued.
Somebody has to get sued, and someone has to lose their job again because there's no way that should happen, man.
That's literally nuts. But man, if y'all can still find a way to pull it out, that's
Crazy.
crazy. Props to D'Amico, man. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Y'all gotta win this one for sure. Um, the Colts, they got the Falcons. It really just depends on what Arthur Smith play calls you get that day. If you could depend on the Falcons to get that upset, but they're 1 point favorites at home. And then, I guess I don't know. It's a decent game because it's divisional. Lions versus Vikings. The Vikings are still technically in the playoff hunt, even though they just choked another one with Nick Mullins at quarterback now and not Dobbs anymore.
Oh, they should win
But
that game
but
though.
they're at home, and the Vikings. I mean, the Lions haven't necessarily been good on the road. They're 3.5 point favorites. The Vikings, like I said, fighting for their playoff lives. I'm assuming Nick Mullen is going again.
Probably so.
Can you trust him versus the Lions? Jay Jettis is back. He had a decent game last weekend. But it seems like, have we been saying from the start of the year, the Vikings got all the luck last year in winning one possession games. And this year, they seem to be finding a way to lose every one possession game, which that's exactly what they did this past week versus Cincinnati. I think they were up 17-3, like with less than 4 or 3 minutes in the third, and they lost the game in overtime.
Yes, bro. They should
That's
have died. That was a disaster at the end of that game.
and crazy. If they win that, Cincy's probably not eliminated, but they're probably done for the playoffs. And then y'all are in that spot. Easy as that. And the Vikings would honestly be in the wild card for the NFC. Soda, or not soda, but they would be in it. But right now, or I guess they're still sixth technically, but they would have some more cushion there. So that was definitely a tough loss for them. But that's another game. Hella implications on the line. Jaguars Bucks. I know as a Texas fan, you don't want the Jags to win this one. As a Saints better, we kind of need the Buccaneers to win this one. How you feel about this one? Because Jacksonville been looking real bad lately. Christian Kirk on IR for the rest of the season. Trevor Lawrence might not play this week, and he hasn't looked good the last couple weeks anyway. How you feel about this one?
If T Law, if he doesn't play, I think Bucks win this game. But if he plays, they're usually really good on the road. I say they'll. I think they'll. I think they'll sneak by. I think it'll be a close game either way. But I think they'll sneak by and win this game if he plays.
Okay, okay. And then the game of the week that we've been talking about: Cowboys Dolphins. Who wins or does it tie?
You might fuck around and tie. I ain't gonna look out. they might mess around and tie. Um, God, dog.
I guess
Like
so.
I really don't
Do
know.
it this way. Give the, I guess, kind of game recipe if the Cowboys win and if Dolphins, like how do you think it would have to go in your mind for each of those teams to win the game? Like what would they have to do?
If the Dolphins win, if the Dolphins win, it'll be a blowout. They will lose. They will lose a close game for sure. They will lose a close game. If it's close, they're losing. They'll have to blow out the Cowboys for sure. The Cowboys, like I think they'll win in a close game. I think it'll be close if they win. I don't think they'll blow them out, but like I said, the Dolphins have to blow. They have to blow the Cowboys out for them to
Oh
win.
yeah,
They not winning no close games.
yeah. And for the Cowboys, I don't know what adjustments they need to make. Uh, I was seeing some maybe put Parsons at linebacker, like split some of his snaps with DN because he's actually serviceable at the linebacker spot. But they got to do something to stop the run. If they let Mostert and HN get going
We're going. It's gonna be a
and start
long
gashing
day.
them, it's gonna be a long day because then you get the play action deep ball to Waddle or Hill, and that's lights
Yeah.
out. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care how good Bland and Gilmore have been playing. They're not gonna be able to keep up with them stride for stride off of play action if the defense bites. So they gotta be better. Dak, I mean, technically the MVP isn't completely lost. Brock Purdy, I think, is only like a 150 favorite now. If he can put together a masterclass game on the road versus the Dolphins, I guess, who are a good team, since they got the record they doing, they scored 70 points. They blow out all the other teams. They high prolific offense. But if Cowboys beat them, do we start saying they're a good team? I don't know. That's
No.
argument for another day. But yeah, I see the Cowboys winning this one, and I think it'll be close to. But I think the Cowboys win this like 28-20 or 24, something like that. And Tua throws a game-sealing pick, and then I can only imagine what the media will do to Tua after that. And then Monday night, got the actual Christmas is Monday, so we got 3 Monday games, and they're all pretty good from the looks of it. You got Chiefs versus the Raiders. We're at home. Like I said, though, the Raiders is going to be their Super Bowl. We still working out Kings on the offensive end, so I wouldn't be surprised if they come out guns a blazing. Josh Jacobs was hurt last week with, I think, an ankle injury. I would not be surprised if he's somehow miraculously playing this week versus us, because you know how that goes. Max Crosby's still dealing with that knee that he's going to need to have repaired after the season. You know he's going to play. Devontae Adams, they are coming off the best game they've ever played probably in the last decade or two, scoring 63. So that should regress to the mean versus our defense. But yeah, man, I just know at some point in this game we'll do something stupid where it'll be a drop, a stupid turnover, and it'll be like, the Raiders are still in this. We need to finish it. That's just how it goes as a Chiefs fan. You got the Giants, Eagles, who, yeah, we've been saying the last couple weeks, oh, yeah, the Eagles can win out just fine. But the way they're playing right now, do you trust the Eagles versus Tommy Cutlets?
I think they'll win, but that -12, I would
That's
probably bet the
steep.
plus. Yeah, I'll probably bet the +12 on that one. Not gonna lie, I probably would, but and I think they'll bounce back and win that game. I just can't see them losing to the Giants. But then again, any given Sunday, man, you just
I
never
didn't see them
know.
losing to Drew Lock and the Seattle Seahawks, and
That's
lo and
true.
behold, there they were losing. Well, Drew Lock in the camera, put that shit on, motherfucker. Like, so I don't
But
know.
He did this.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then Monday night, the game of all games, man. The two best teams in the NFL right now, Ravens versus 49ers in San Francisco. San Francisco is 5.5 point favorite. I'm not
Wow.
gonna lie, I'm locking the Ravens in at plus 5.5.
I might have to
I'm not
also.
saying San Francisco isn't the best team in the NFL, but the Ravens have a solid defense, which I think will give Brock Purdy some problems. But
Mhm.
for whatever reason, for one, Ravens are really good versus good teams, and two, they're really good versus NFC teams because they're not used to Lamar.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens pose a whole different type of game style and game plan threat that the NFC teams don't see at all in their conference. Like I guess Jalen Hurts is probably the closest thing to it, but it's still not the
It's
same.
not the same. Yeah.
And I think Lamar is gonna pose a lot of problems for that defense. One, I guess, caveat to that is they did just lose Keaton Mitchell. I don't know what it is,
I don't
but
know what it
if
is
I
with this
got
team.
drafted as a Baltimore Ravens running back, I would hold out. Trade me somewhere else. Because you're basically saying you're shortening my lifespan because I'm gonna tear or break something.
So
Every running back for them gets hurt. And this week it was Keaton Mitchell who had looked really good. And then his knee just bounced backwards running.
crazy.
It's like, is it just the wear and tear from how much they run the football or what? Like, I don't get it. But they haven't had a running back stay healthy from start to finish, I think, in like 3 or 4 years. It's always something with them.
That's crazy.
Crazy. But this week, 5.5, plus 5.5, lock it in. And if you want, you might sprinkle on the upset. Because that's the other thing. So, like we was just saying, Miami got to win in a blowout. They won't win close. As good as San Francisco is, I think Shanahan's record is like 1-13 in one possession games since he's been in San Francisco.
Dang.
They don't win close. So
Yeah.
if they can keep it close, I think the Ravens can win. So yeah, plus 5.5 for me. Maybe a sprinkle on the ML. As right now, that's the only bets I really like. This other stuff I gotta look at. It's like I said, it's playoff football. Gotta look at who's motivated, who's not, who needs a win, certain props and everything, man. But yeah, that's the week 16 preview. I guess just for fun to end this episode, I'm gonna just rifle off every single game in order, and you just pick the winner. Just go with whatever your gut says.
The winner?
The winner.
All right.
You
Say
go
less.
first, and then I'll follow after you. Saints Rams.
Saints.
Rams. I just can't trust their car. Bengals Steelers.
Bengals.
Steelers. Right.
Steelers?
Without Jamar, I think Jake
Without
Browning
Jamar?
comes back down to earth a little bit. But if he
I can
does
see
it, oh my God, what we talked about earlier in the episode becomes way more real if he pulls this off. Bills Chargers.
I got Bills.
Bills. Browns Texas.
Texans, come on, man.
I want y'all to win too.
Go with your gut, man. If you say Browns,
My gut is saying Browns because they just keep finding ways to win. And then you listing half the team on the injury report of DMPs doesn't sit right with me this week. It worked versus the Titans, who aren't that great. Versus the Browns and that solid defense, I'm kind of scared for Case Keenum.
Yeah,
Especially if you don't got Laramie Tunsil, Miles Garrett might kill him. And then you got Davis Mills in, who that pissed me off. When y'all put Davis Mills in at the end of the game for that Hail Mary, and he started running around with the ball just out. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Yes.
My heart was just racing for y'all. Cause like, if he fumbles and they lose this game, I was like, Cam gonna be on suicide watch.
Oh, for sure. No, that's suicide watch. I was gonna go to Kirby, the Kirby Drive. I was gonna go down there to NRG Stadium. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna do the rest.
I was gonna do unspeakable things.
Yeah, I was gonna do
You would have been waiting on him on the tarmac for when they touched down. Like, bro, what was that? What was that?
Been in Harris County jail, man.
I'm dead. Commanders Jets. Oh my God. You want to talk about stoppable force meets movable object? This one right here. Worst offense in the Jets versus the worst defense in the Commanders. Jets are at home in this one. I would assume Trevor Siemian is quarterback because Zach Wilson is in concussion protocol. And as we learned today, Aaron Rodgers was never going to play because he's still not fully healthy, even though that's what they've been pushing all damn year since he got injured. But my gut on this one, I'm gonna go Jets because their defense.
I'm gonna go Commanders. I don't know why. I'm gonna go Commanders. My gut is saying Commanders.
Shoot, that one probably ties 0-0. Damn.
Probably.
Seahawks,
Shoot.
Titans,
Seahawks, Titans, Seahawks.
Seahawks. Shoot, really? I don't know what Geno's status is, but I wouldn't put him in for Drew Lock right now. I'm just saying.
Nah, I ride.
I ride with Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Colts, Falcons.
Dang. That's gonna be a tough game. I got Colts.
I got Colts too, but if Pittman doesn't play, I'm a little bit worried. But yeah, my gut is telling me Colts on that one. Packers, Panthers.
Packers.
Yeah, they need to win. It's crazy because, like I was telling you before the episode, of course, a couple weeks ago they played my Chiefs Sunday night. Was their Super Bowl? They balled out. They've now dropped the last 2 games to Tommy Cutlets and the Giants, and then this week they let Baker Mayfield have a perfect game in Lambeau. Lost that one, and it was funny because up until that point, I guess Matt LaFleur was like 16-0 in the month of December. Then immediately after they said that shit, dropped both games. So now they were holding on to a wild card spot. Now they've fallen out of the wild card spot, so they back in the hunt at 6-8. They need this win. So yeah, Packers for me as well. Lions, Vikings.
Vikings. I got Lions.
I got Vikings.
Got Vikings.
I need to see the Lions win one on the road versus a decent team first. They've been selling, and yeah, they won last week, but it was the Broncos at home. And I told y'all the Broncos, while they've been winning, they were only winning them games because the defense was getting hella turnovers. Goff went for 5 touchdowns last week, no turnovers. The game ended with Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson about God knows what because he won't tell us. So that tells you right there. Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings on this one just because I got to see the Lions do something. Jaguars, Bucks.
I got Bucks.
I want the Jaguars to win this for obvious reasons because the Saints, but my gut is telling me the Bucks are gonna win this game.
Yeah, my gut is telling you Bucks too.
Because Jaguars have been sliding too, and then shoot, if they lose and y'all win, well, I guess the Colts still technically have the tiebreaker too. Yeah. But if both them lose, y'all are technically first in the AFC South, huh?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Sir.
Oh my God, there's so much on the line.
So much on the line, dog. So much on the line.
Shoot. Cam.
What?
Remember we were talking about what's a tradable team or what's a team that could possibly trade Tua away and maybe get something back. This game, Cardinals Bears. Depending on how the season is for the Cardinals, you don't think Mike McDaniels will possibly want Kyler Murray in that offense?
Oh my gosh! So you thinking like a Kyler and
a Tua
trade?
Because Tua is still serviceable, and Arizona is technically still in a rebuild, but that gives them a quarterback moving forward instead of having to draft one because they're probably going to have to draft like the 3rd best quarterback. And then that's kind of a big if. You get Tua, who's a proven good game manager, and then try to build around him. I think Mike McDaniels, I think he could, because I don't think Kyler Murray's a bad quarterback.
No, he's not.
Regardless of everybody else, who a lot of people don't think that because of his career so far, but he was with Cliff Kingsbury, who couldn't win college football games in the Big 12 with Patrick Mahomes. So come on, man. Like, I never thought that was a good pairing. But I think that would be I can see that trade.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Kyler Murray resurrects his career, and then the RPO game with that. Oh my God. That would go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cardinals, Bears. Bears are at home for this one too.
Give me Cardinals.
I'm gonna go Bears. I think Justin Fields, he's been balling.
He's been balling, yes.
The team
they could have won last week, but Darnell, you see that?
I seen the Hail Mary.
What's he doing?
I don't know. I do not know. I don't know how you dropped that.
It's like they be sabotaging Justin
Fields. Because before that, they wouldn't have been in that position if Cole Kmet catches his touchdown wide open to start the game.
They be sabotaging, dog. I'm telling you, they be
And people like
sabotaging my
Justin
boy.
Fields sucks. Like I get he done some questionable things, but that franchise is cursed for
It's cursed.
franchise QBs. So yeah, and then the game Cowboys Dolphins. Gut
I,
feeling right now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
1.5 point favorites Miami right now.
Mm, it should be Dolphins. The Dolphins should win this game.
Yeah, I have to stay away from this one betting wise because whichever one I pick, the opposite will happen, and then I'll feel really stupid because I'm like, I should have seen that coming. Like on one side, I'm like, Miami can't beat good teams. Dallas
Mhm.
coming off a blowout loss, oh, they'll bounce back. And then on the other side, Dallas can't stop the run or win on the road. I should have picked Miami. So I'm gonna stay away from this one. But my gut says I think Dallas should win this game.
My gut says Dallas too. But if you look at the paper, like side by side, Dolphins should win this game.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And then all hell will break loose for Cowboys fans and Twitter, like, oh my God, bro, y'all rooting because we lost the game. Man, it's whatever, it's whatever. But it's like, nah, bro. I've been telling you, I believed in y'all. I picked y'all to go to the Super Bowl. After that San Francisco game, I saw everything I need to see to make me never believe in that team again this season. Unless they get the perfect scenario where they would have got first place in the NFC and had home field advantage throughout, which isn't gonna happen now. So, yeah, man. But I think y'all should win this one this week, Cowboys fans. So I'll give y'all that. Patriots Broncos. Broncos 7-7 fighting for their playoff life. And they're at home too.
Broncos, Patriots. I got Broncos.
I'm gonna go Patriots. I think
We got Pats.
Bill Belichick is able to stifle them enough. And as long as Bailey Zappi, it's a big if, but as long as Bailey Zappi can take care of the ball, it's gonna come down to last possession. Either stop or field goal for the win. So my gut saying Patriots and then Denver, while I guess you could call it a successful season from years past, they're going into the off season with some big question because it's like, we stuck with Russ or do we trade him or how what do we do moving forward? So then on to the last 3 games Monday. My Raiders, not my Raiders. Fuck
Oh
that.
man, what?
My Chiefs versus the Raiders. We at home. If we win this, we win the AFC West for the 8th year in a row, and it's crazy because
8 years.
before this streak started, how in the history of the whole division, it was the Broncos, Raiders, and Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers. I think all had 15 divisional titles, and we had 8, and now we're all tied at 15. If we win this one, we jump everybody in this 8-year span.
That's crazy.
So, title online, of course, my gut. Gotta go with my boys.
Yeah,
Will it be easy? No. It's gonna be a moment or two in this game where I'm like, fuck, we just gotta make it a game. We just gotta do it. But I think we'll pull out the win somehow, some way.
I got Chiefs in this one too.
Giants, Eagles. Tommy DeVito insanity run looked like it might be over last week versus the Saints.
I don't know how you feel.
I think your mic went out a little bit. Where you got Eagles?
I got Eagles in this one.
Yeah, I got the Eagles too. They're at home. I would think they bounce back.
I would think so
Honestly,
too.
I'm not gonna lie, man. This one, I know that he won't and they won't do it. They need to sit Jalen Hurts this game. He's not healthy, bro.
He's
Like,
not
I get this
healthy at
week
all.
it was sickness, but when he runs, you can literally tell something is not right. And at this point, I'm thinking whatever it is something that's just gonna have to be fixed in the offseason. So that's might be why like it can't get any worse type stuff, but we just don't know the severity of it until whenever their season's over, then they'll come and be like, oh yeah, he has like a torn meniscus or something like that. But he needs to sit. Just play Mariota. Y'all should be able to win this game with Marcus Mariota versus the Giants. But they won't do it. And they'll go into the playoffs limping. But yeah, I got them winning this one too. And then last game, best game of the week on paper, Ravens versus 49ers for the title of best in the NFL.
Sheesh, man. I hope this game. I hope this game lives up to the hype and the moment or whatever. Give me Lamar and the Ravens, man.
I'm with you. Give me Lamar and the Ravens too, and then it's gonna be hilarious because obviously this past week they said Dak knocked out of the MVP race. Brock Purdy the favorite. They lose this game, and Brock Purdy has a, I guess, off game, bad game, whatever you want to call it. Who's the MVP?
I don't know at that point. I don't know at
Then
that
people
point.
are gonna try to throw it to Lamar, which I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. It's just I guess he hasn't had the best numbers, even though they've been winning. But that's because they get down to the goal line and then they just run the ball in with Gus Edwards or something. But honestly, I just want to see what NFL media flips and pivots to for MVP if the San Francisco 49ers lose. So I want
They'll,
the Ravens to bring that chaos this weekend with the dub.
I think they'll flip to Tua if they
Tua?
win. If they win, yeah. Because you know he leads the league in passing yards right now.
Man.
I think they'll lead towards him if he beats the Cowboys.
Okay, so if the Cowboys win and Dak looks good again, is Dak then back?
It's probably Dak, yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, man. Week 16 of football. First of the last 3 weeks of the season, man. It's some good ball being played. Everything is on the line, literally. I can't wait to watch. Can't wait to watch.
Me too.
But as always, we appreciate y'all if y'all listen all the way through. Have a safe holiday weekend wherever y'all going, wherever y'all traveling. I know I'm about to travel. I don't know about you, Cam, but if not, have a good holidays. Tell the fam I said that. I need a sports pop fam. Y'all have a great holidays. Let's watch some Christmas football, man. We gonna have Christmas football. We gonna have
And college
Christmas
football.
NBA and college. Man, we
College
going
football coming up.
crazy. We going crazy. And okay, before we end, just cause I'm hoping possibly we could get an episode in while I'm at my family's place in Kansas, but I don't know if we will be able to. But in the spare chance we don't, because I won't be back until New Year's Day, which is when the games kick off. But y'all see, now I'm saying that out loud. Maybe we have a live episode that night. I don't know. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. But if we don't, and we don't see y'all until then, me and Cam have a friendly wager on the board. His UT Longhorns versus Washington Huskies. I think Washington's about to win the national title. So they playing in the semis. We got $50 on it. We shake right
Shake,
here on
man,
camera.
shake.
We got 50 on that game, man. But you heard it here first. If we don't get to film a college football playoff episode, I think UW is taking it. Obviously, Cam going with his UT guys. And then even though they shouldn't be in, but it'll get justified because they're gonna whoop the shit out of Michigan.
They gonna beat the fuck out of Michigan.
Alabama gonna be in the championship.
We'll talk about it, but they gonna beat the shit out of Michigan.
We'll talk about it because it's even rumors that I guess Harbaugh is potentially in talks with the Chargers for that head coaching job.
Yeah,
So all those distractions, yeah, he's gone. He's gone. But yeah, man, that's it. We appreciate y'all listening all the way through. Have a safe and happy holidays. If we don't see y'all before the New Year's ends, have a happy New Year as well. We'll see y'all in 24. But it's your favorite kids from the neighborhood signing off. My dog Cam, Bryce, and we out, man. Peace.